Well, good evening, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola here for another Coffee Club Talk live show. Special night tonight. We love our guests. We're honored always when people take the time to talk to us and say hello and share what passions they have and what their part in Osceola County is. We love having people come talk about that, and it's really why we're here. But tonight, extra special. And you'll certainly know, if you don't already know, some great guests tonight with us. Miss Silver Spurs, that is Ansley Bowe, and of course the big boss Dustin Bronson. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Keith?
Everything's good. Dustin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good as well.
Cool. We'll wait a few minutes and just hang out for a second while Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook says hello to people and lets them know we're here tonight. So they say it's officially fall now, and I know the news has been talking about how much the drier air and cooler temps are coming, but it kind of felt like summer to me today.
Definitely. I'm ready for it to cool off.
I know. And it's an oddity. I have a lot of friends way up in upstate New York and Canada, and during the winter I forget that they're all suffering up there in the snow, and we're just down here having a good time. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Still have the shorts and the flip-flops on down here.
I know. In January. Gotta love it. Well, we got some people popping on right now, so I think we're going to start this off. We'll make it official, all right? Here we go. Well, again, I want to welcome our very special guests, the Miss Silver Spurs, Ansley Bowe, and of course, our big boss, Dustin Bronson. And so we really do thank you guys for taking time with lots going on in life in general. And then when a rodeo's coming, everything is busy. We'll talk to Ansley just for a few minutes first, ladies first. And so she is our 2021 Miss Silver Spurs, Miss Horsemanship, Doug Parton Spirit Award, and Miss Photogenic winner. Ansley Elizabeth Bowe is an Osceola County native. She is 16 years old, in 11th grade at Harmony High, go Longhorns, and is currently enrolled in the veterinary program and plans to graduate with her CVA, which I believe is Certified Veterinarian Assistant, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ansley is also a dual enrollment student at Valencia College, which we talked about. And in the future, she hopes to attend University of Florida and earn a doctoral degree in veterinary medicine, which is an awesome thing. And so we'll chat with you for a few seconds anyway. We were just talking before we went live that my son is a Longhorn also and graduated, and so he loved Harmony High School. A lot of great friends, a lot of great memories out there. And we mentioned the veterinary assistance program that is out there. So not too long ago, they just I know Mr. Ricky Booth was out there with us. And we just did a ribbon cutting for that upgrade to the whole area in that facility. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what that's going to be once it kicks off out there at Harmony?
So once it kicks off, that area is going to be like a clinic, and a certified vet is going to be there.
Right.
And the reason we're having this is so all the kids in the veterinary program can get their experiences, and we also have to have a certain amount of clinical hours with a licensed vet. And so by doing it with the school, you'll be able to get that experience, have hands-on, and then it'll be an easier way for us to get our hours too.
And that's the challenge too, right? If you don't have the experience when how you put that all together, and at this point, that means anyone in that program is ideally you graduate with those hours already achieved.
Yes. So we have to have 500 hours, 250 are service hours, like skill hours, and then 250 are clinical hours. So I'm currently working on my skill hours at McCormick Research Institute, and it's really easy to get hours. They're very friendly, and I love horses, obviously, and that's a really good way to get my hours, and I really enjoy it.
And so clinic-wise, if I'm correct, that's going to be managed or runs the actual clinic with Snippet Clinic, correct?
Yes, sir.
And those guys are awesome.
Yes, they're all very friendly and very willing to help us.
Yeah, they're awesome. All right. Well, we will move over at this point to Dustin. And again, we really thank you for being here, Big Boss. That's Dustin Bronson, 7th generation Osceola County resident, member of a pioneer cattle family of Osceola County, obviously. He was raised on his family's ranch in Kissimmee and Claremont, watching his grandfather, mother, and uncle produce local ropings through different associations that he's been a part of locally and nationally. No stranger to rodeo or the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Dustin has grown up in the Silver Spurs Riding Club and is the grandson of one of the founding members, Charles Shang Bronson. So, welcome. And it seems to me sometimes it's strange. It's probably just me, but it seems like rodeos are, and they're not. They seem like they're so far away sometimes. And then thankfully we get to start talking about them because, I don't know of a more exciting sport. The athletes, whether they are the livestock or the contestants, it's just an amazing event. And we were kind of talking earlier, and I won't get on too much of a sidebar, but what I've seen over the last few years is obviously Osceola County is one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Florida. And when I look at the amount of people that are attending, even before COVID and coming out of the deeper portions of COVID, great attendance at all the rodeos, and so it's obviously a growing sport. Do you think, and Dustin, I'll ask you this, do you think that with the influx of so many different people from so many different backgrounds and places in the world coming to Osceola County, it seems like it's really lit up a new audience of people who are truly appreciating what you guys are doing. Does that seem to be something you're seeing too?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I noticed that. It seems like it's really grown over the last couple of years. And even, I guess an example of this is we were out yesterday. We worked some of our own cattle and went to eat lunch. And there was a few families that stopped us that were not from here. They were from England. And they wanted to talk to me and my kids, wearing the cowboy stuff. Right. And they're really intrigued by that, and they want to buy property and have horses. And so I think a lot of those people are coming here and really enjoy the rodeo and all that it has to offer.
Which is a lot. Why don't we, while we're talking about that, why don't we talk a little bit about what's coming up October 1st and October 2nd at the Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee?
Yeah, we're having a 2-day event rodeo. It kind of takes after the original rodeo we have in October, the Boots, Bulls, and Barrels, the bull riding. And this time it's going to have bull riding and bareback riding and saddle bronc. And also we'll have the kids in between the events. We'll have the mutton busting and the junior barrel racers. So the fans can enjoy watching the youth compete also in their events. And it should be a really good rodeo. We're really, really happy to have this going on, and it will help showcase our stock. So the animals that we raise for Silver Spurs and for the rodeo, it will showcase them. And I believe it's the first rodeo of the year for the contestants to actually make points for the National Farmers Rodeo next year.
Awesome. So you mentioned mutton busting, which there just might be some folks that don't know what that is. Why don't you give us a short description of what that is?
That's when the kids, 4 to 6 years old, they have to be under 50 pounds.
Right.
Get on a sheep and ride it. Whoever rides it the farthest wins. And it's just, it would be similar to bull riding, but not near as dangerous.
If I remember in the June rodeo, I think it was a young lady that seemed to win that. If I'm correct, I may not be, but I thought it was a young lady that won this time. It was a blast to watch.
Yeah, it was really fun. I know she went a long ways. There was a couple other kids that went pretty far, but I think she did go a long ways, and the crowd loved it.
No doubt about it. So, Ansley, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey to being Miss Silver Spurs? Give us a little lowdown of how much that's meant to you in your life, and maybe how long you were focused on trying to achieve that goal, which you obviously have achieved.
Yes, of course. So I started rodeo queening back in 2014 for the Little Miss Silver Spurs pageant. And I did not achieve the crown that year, but I wanted to continue and I wanted to work for it. So I ran for Little Miss Silver Spurs for 2 more years. And ironically, I won first runner-up both those years. And although I was a little disappointed, I did not let that stop me. And then I took a year off and I ran for Junior Miss Silver Spurs and I ended up winning. So I got to travel around the state of Florida with some of my queens and do Queen Week as Junior Miss Silver Spurs. And I just really enjoy it. Rodeo Queening, it means so much to me. And I get to inspire the community. And it's just more than a title because you get to impact so many people in many different ways. And then after my Junior Miss year, I took another year off and then COVID hit. And so now I am Miss Silver Spurs. And that journey has been so amazing. And my experience is so awesome. And I love being a rodeo queen because I love impacting the community as many ways as I can. And I just love all my Sash sisters. And so far, it has been a pretty amazing experience.
Now, we talked earlier. So what are you looking forward to during the year that you're Miss Silver Spurs? We talked a little bit about this, but I hope you'll share a little bit about that.
Yes. So one of the main things I'm looking forward to is impacting the community and helping little kids or even adults learn about the sport of rodeo because it really is the greatest sport on dirt. And another thing I'm looking forward to would have to be Queen Week and the rodeo in February because that is one of our main events as Silver Spurs. And I just love when all the state queens get to come and I get to meet so many new people. And it's just a really amazing experience.
Good for you. It's exciting for sure. I'm going to ask if I can get this back into where it needs to be. And it is. Boom. There we go. So, Dustin, why don't you tell us a little bit about, for those folks who may not know much about the Silver Spurs Riding Club, sometimes that confuses people. What the Silver Spurs Riding Club is as opposed to the Silver Spurs Rodeo. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history and the heritage of Silver Spurs Riding Club, please?
Yeah, so the Silver Spurs Rodeo Club was founded in the 1940s by some ranching families that wanted to get together, and I believe that they wanted to raise some money for the war effort back in the time of the war going on. And the families they would get together and ride, and they pretty much created this like square dancing on horses is what the Silver Spurs quadrille is. And then they put on the first rodeo and sent the money, the proceeds from that rodeo, to support the war going on at the time. And then it's just evolved over time. And they used to have the big arena, the outdoor arena, and have huge rodeos. And I know at one point it was like a July 4th rodeo and the February rodeo, the big one that we have during the fair. And that kind of coincides together to help like people come down for the fair and also get to enjoy the rodeo, or vice versa. If you go to rodeo, you would go to the fair. I think it's a great deal for the ranching community to help us promote the rodeo and get everything going with that.
That works. And so let me ask this question to both of you. We'll flip it back over to Ansley. So if you ran into somebody at Walmart and they asked you, I've never been to a rodeo before. Why don't you tell me what it's like and why I should go to it? Why don't you give me that little elevator speech, just a couple minutes of why somebody should check out the rodeo for the first time if they've never seen a rodeo?
Well, in my opinion, I feel like rodeo is for everyone. Anyone can enjoy it. It's just action-packed, and once you're in that environment, everyone is just friendly, and we're all act like one because we all have a love for animals and the sport of rodeo, and it's a really awesome experience to go, and I feel like anybody and anyone can be able to enjoy rodeo.
Yeah, I agree. I love the how varied it is. For somebody who has never experienced it, there are so many different events happening, and you see it's fierce at some points where you can see it's a competition and it's for real, and then the quadrille comes out, and that is one of my favorite events. I love quadrille, and I love I love watching barrel racing. So that's me. It's for some reason I just really love those two portions of the evening. So I'll pose the same question to you, Dustin. If somebody they've never seen a rodeo, they're not sure what it is, but they're considering going, what would you tell them to convince them to go?
Yeah, I would tell them to come out and see the athletes. I mean, there's all the cowboys and cowgirl athletes, and a lot of people think of athletes, they just think of all the regular sports, which would be baseball, football, basketball. they don't really think of rodeo as I would say a sport, and don't think of those athletes. And it's not just the competitors, it's the animals as well. So the bulls and the horses and all that compete. And I think it's a total different vibe you get when you're at a rodeo compared to when you're at a football game. It's like, it's kind of hard to explain it. So I'll just tell them to come out and experience that for yourself.
Sure. Well, maybe this one short video clip will give somebody a little bit of that vibe. Here we go. Even that would make me go.
Me too.
I know, right?
Good.
Well, so Ansley, why don't you tell us, for those folks who are going to hear this or maybe even considering getting some tickets, where can they go for more information and where can they go for tickets to the events?
For more information and for tickets, you can go to the silverspursrodeo.com website. And if you arrive at Spurs, they also will have some tickets for sale in the ticket box out front.
Awesome. You've said that a couple times before, I'm thinking. So I guess before we kind of close it out, so Dustin, I think one of the things people don't realize also about Silver Spurs Riding Club is that you guys are a 501c3 and a very giving organization. You want to share a little bit about that, of how, I know that the Silver Spurs really is a giving back organization. If you want to share a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. Our organization is all nonprofit, and all of our members volunteer their time to come in and help put on the rodeo and do all the things throughout the year that help with the animals and the arena and the property. And also we have a few like the scholarships and breast cancer awareness and the guardian ad litem places that we give money back to. So some of the proceeds that are made throughout the year at the rodeo are given back to them.
Yeah, that's almost hard to understand. If you go to the rodeo, it's almost unbelievable to see the synergy between volunteers. I mean, from the parking lot all the way to concessions. That's an amazing scenario. That was the one thing that really attracted me to Silver Spurs Riding Club was the passion about community, wanting to give back. And I think I'm not sure I've ever met people with more integrity and more love for the community than Silver Spurs Riding Club. And so I appreciate both you guys taking a few minutes to speak to us tonight. Anything else you want to share before we kind of close it out?
I'm good.
I knew you'd say that. Well, I appreciate both you guys. And again, if you're just tuning in, it is Friday, October 1st and Saturday, October 2nd, both at 7:30 p.m. As Ansley said, you can get tickets at silverspursrodeo.com. It's real simple, and I highly encourage you to do that. Before we say goodnight, I want to hit this other video that also shows a little bit more of what it's all about at Silver Spurs. And that did give a little example of mutton busting right there.
Yes.
So again, I really appreciate both you guys. Again, we have had tonight our guests from the Silver Spurs Rodeo, Big Boss Dustin Bronson, and of course, Miss Silver Spurs 2021, 2022. That is Ansley Bowe. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I hope we can slide in a little, like one more of these before the actual rodeo happens. Would you guys be okay to do that if we can find the time?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd be happy to.
You committed. Now we'll make it happen. I appreciate you both. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with Big Boss Dustin Bronson and Miss Silver Spurs Ansley Bowe. Together, we're making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. See you at the rodeo.